Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of It's All Related, the podcast where we talk about all things intuitive and how that's becoming our new normal. I'm Sonia Choquette. This week I'm broadcasting in Paris, where I live part-time, talking to my beautiful daughter in the Paris of the United States in beautiful New Orleans. Hi, Son.
Hi, Mom. I love how we started our first draft. She said this week, I'm Sonia. And you know what that always reminds me of? Never assume you know anyone. Especially yourself. That's what that immediately came to mind. Because just the ego can just get so fixed on like who we are and how we are. And this is the way. And I just had to laugh.
Reminds me of my mom when I would occasionally, when I would go back to Denver, her favorite thing was to take her for a drive through the mountains. And every time we got in the car, we'd be driving along, and she'd be in her own world because she was deaf. She'd be humming along, and then she'd turn to me and she'd say, one day I'm going to tell you who I really am. And then she'd turn on me and go, you do that, Mom. And I said, and I'll do the same. I will do the same. And that was sort of the way it was a ritual on every car drive.
Oh, I love it. Because, one of the interesting things that I've found recently, and even just like in, my little spirit guides, Nana's been around, is I've found a bunch of her old books that I saved when she passed and we were clearing out the house. And there is a book, it's an old book. I don't even remember the title of it, but I was going through it and I started reading it and I was doing my highlighting and then I found her notes, which was just such a treat because I'm like transported back, seeing her flourishy handwriting. All of a sudden I'm teletransported to her apartment and how peaceful it was, like a living altar,
a temple.
Portal. Truly, all in white. I mean,
and plus, I found this out that my grandfather, her father, was
my great-grandfather.
Yes, was the number one teacher of calligraphy in Romania.
That's amazing.
And
no wonder you're all writers.
Yeah, well, honestly, I didn't really think about that, but yeah. Well, right. So, and beauty, just the foundation of beauty and how and everything my mom did and everything she said to us. She used to say every day, you are the Holy Spirit, so you dress the Holy Spirit and address yourself appropriately.
The Holy Spirit resides within you. Dress it well.
Dress it well. Dress it as it deserves.
My other favorite, real quick, that she would say is, a well-dressed man always wears a smile.
Yeah, I remember that. She sure was witty. One day, we're going to have to collect
100%.
all those sayings. My favorite. We were talking in class last night. You should just say, I can't hear you. You have to stop talking because your spirit is screaming so loud.
That's especially when you would be trying to give her the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, when you're giving her the blah, blah, that was not all aligning with the true spirit of, it's like she used to say all the time, are you going to tell me what went on or am I going to tell you? Are you tell me what's going on or am I going to tell you?
But even just how she was such a unique Nana in so many ways. But I flipped to the front page of the book and, Nana really taught us gratitude, to be grateful, to really see every day as a miracle, to see the miracle in other people. I just imagined her walking through Nordstrom's and how she would take her time. And it was almost like she wrote a little inscription to herself. And it was, thank you so much, whatever this author was. It was like she read the book and then from her spirit wrote a thank you at the front.
Oh, I love that.
I know.
I love that.
I know.
Well, she clearly is visiting us loud and clear, and She always had her beautiful headscarves, which now you're channeling on a daily basis. So whenever I see you in those bright headscarves, I just see Nana all over again. The Sonia lives on.
The Sonia lives on. The Sonia lives on. And, you know, the thing that I love about Nana that's been passed down, that you've taught Sabrina and I, is like everyone, and it's true, is intuitive. And I'll just tell you a quick story. So this past week I was at Jazz Fest, and there's a woman here, very sweet, that I know socially. I do email past life readings. I gave her one way back years ago. I don't remember it at all. Anyway, I see her socially. She's always kind. End of the night, we were at a show, and she comes up to me and, you know, she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember me? I'm like, of course. Hi, how are you? I start chit-chatting with her. She's with her friend, and she goes, well, you know, Sonia, she's a clairvoyant. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh yeah, but yeah, it's like, then there's another name of a person here in New Orleans that I've met socially that at first I thought I vibed with, but I had a few more moments and I realized we're not the same because they position themselves as special. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, oh, I'm the intuitive, blah, blah, blah of New Orleans. Anyway, so I'm hearing her talk relate to me and sharing with her friend. And her friend turns to me and she goes, wow, that's so incredible. And I was like, yeah, no. Like, I just learned a language and a framework. This is totally normal. She says, no. I've tried for years and I've really just thought about it. And out of my mouth, I swear, my mom has the guides called the 3 Cans of Wet Bass. And I swear that they came in loud and clear. I was like, ma'am, you can't think intuition. Second of all, I don't know how, who, what, where, when, how, but you came in as an intuitive being. Your head is blocking it. Everything you're saying to me is absolutely wrong. It's wrong. I'm not special. You're not special. This isn't special. And you got to get out your own head. And then I came at her so hot that I took a breath, and her little eyeballs, just wide like saucers, took a breath. And I just said, I'm just want to be here and to deliver the message loud and clear. You are intuitive. You're just on the wrong channel. And walked away. I just walked away.
Pizza delivered.
100. Well, I have found that sometimes, and maybe it's even through social media and maybe through all this like marketing and like, just like the blah, blah, blah. There's so much of talking to the back of the room when we're talking intuition.
Right.
We're talking to the back of the room. We're talking to the people who don't get it, that we have to convince of this and that, instead of, hold on.
No, we're not going to talk about, I'm not convincing anybody anymore. You either get on the bus or you get off the bus. It's a choice.
Yeah.
But the bus keeps coming around. The bus keeps coming around. You can either walk through the dark in the sludge in the mud and say you don't know, or you get on the bus.
Or you get on the bus. The bus is always available. You can always flag the bus. You have the button for the bus.
Well, it's just interesting because what I constantly am surprised by, especially with people I mentor, because they're investing their time and energy with me weekly or bi-weekly to really get on the bus, get on the intuitive train.
Yeah.
And yet, like I was just talking to this one fabulous client, doctor, who was getting one brilliant download after another, as well as delivering in conferences one brilliant download after another, and way out of her traditional approach of get the PowerPoint, get the slides, prepare for 2 weeks, practice, rehearse. She said she got invited to these conferences and somehow they got scheduled back to back, no time to practice, just had to get up there and wing it. And nailed it. Nailed in these medical conferences, nailed it in her delivery. But her acknowledgement of this was still so tentative. I think I did a good job. I might be good at this. And I was like, wait, whoa. You got the acknowledgement. You got the affirmation. The people came and told you that was really brilliant. You landed, but you don't have room to receive this version of you. Everybody else is already on board with this being you. You're still very much, you're still resisting. And why?
Yeah.
Why? I actually said, now we've had 40 minutes of one incredible, brilliant insight after another where I would be joyful, excited. Yes, check the box, got that, we're on with it. And you're like, well, I think I might, maybe this came in. And it was like, well, yeah, what is this circling the wagons and not going in for the prize? It's like, what's going on here? I said, this is just conditioning because you're so used to being judged.
Yeah, totally. And especially I can understand too, when you had a lot of that conditioning coming from a medical field, because look, we love science. I love a doctor. I love my medical doctor going to school and knowing all of how the things work, the systems work, the science of it. And my favorite doctors, my favorite people are intuitive. They connect dots. They see things that others do not. Exactly. And it's almost like once you can just allow yourself to open up your frame of perception, just opening up, like one of the first rules that you've taught us is be open to your intuition. Just be open. Turn on the radio frequency. Expect it to work. Trust it. So when you have those moments of flow, of guidance, of just, it's better than you could have even imagined.
Yeah,
That's
and you
your
can
intuition.
receive it instead of treat it like a hot potato you got to throw away.
Definitely. Because
This is the
throwing away
most
is
common
approval.
thing. This is the
Approval.
most common thing I see is that people, I'm not seeing people not being intuitive. I am not experiencing a lot of I'm confused. I am experiencing a lot of, wow, that was so easy and it's so clear to me. I don't know how to receive it. Where's the struggle? Where's the drama? Where did I earn knowing that? I'm afraid I'm not allowed to know this easily, this clearly. So
Yeah.
I gotta tamp it down. I have to tamp it down. And I really feel like this is what's going on now for the majority of people. I'm not experiencing, I'll say 2 out of 10 are still really stuck in their heads. But 8 out of 10, they're getting more and more and more clear. But they're not getting clear on how to be clear. That being clear is natural.
Yes. Okay. Because I was going to say, for our listener, like, I got you, boo, when you say that. But for our listener, the decision of, I am intuitive. Like, I am. Like, just what if you were to imagine that you were just completely intuitive and just even lived your day like that? Like, just no stop.
Well,
100%.
and here's the point. You certainly did till you went to school.
Yeah.
From the time you were 0 to 5, you were having no problem with this.
Or what I also see very often is that people, some of my clients or people are very intuitive in what they love and these specific things, because intuition works best when what you love, but they don't clock it as guidance. For them, it's just normal. I was talking to, I'm trying to remember who I was just talking to the other day. Where was I? It doesn't matter. Neither here nor there. Of course, I'm going to get off the podcast and it's going to come to me. But I was chatting with a gentleman and, asked me what I do here in New Orleans. And again, as I've always said, I always have to just pay attention to how I want to answer the question, even just for myself, my audience, the energy, whatever. But I'm like, I'm an intuitive. I do intuitive work. And his eyes kind of lit was kind of a little confused, but was curious. And I said, what do you do? Real estate. And he said, I really love it. I'm really good at finding people houses. Like, it's like the most fun puzzle for me. I'm constantly and I'm like, that's your intuition. That's your intuition at work. That is feeling the vibe of your
matching the client to the house,
to the home, to the thing, to the timing, to the moments of, I didn't know that was on the listing, but we tried. That is how it works. That's how it works. That's how it works. And we do really we want it to be a big deal. That also reminds me of, so last night I was on something called the Internet Archive. And basically it is an archive for all media from 50s to now. And I was watching infomercials from from 1994 and 1995. And there was an infomercial about a psychic. And it was so funny to just see the misconception of, ooh, it's a crystal ball and you get to have one free question, and do you of just the smoke and the mirrors and I forgot, you know what? No wonder we got a bad rap. It was not that long ago. And I turned to Lay, my partner, I said, those were the parents that were watching that on the playground and that would give me, Sabrina, stink eye and give mommy stink eye once you come pick us up.
Yeah, because the public perception was so distorted.
So distorted.
Yeah, and really everyone was so left brain railroaded by education and by science and you have to have facts and data and you have to have empirical evidence that anything that was energetically based was dismissed as weirdo woo-woo. And frankly, that goes all the way back to the witch burnings if we really want to get this into philosophical context. But the truth is now,
hello, my sweet friends. It's Sonia Tully. And here's one thing I know for sure. Your head and your heart are meant to be the best of friends. And when you live life inside out, your head and heart are one. Being an intuitive, connected soul is all about remembering who you are and uncovering your gems. It is my mission to help you trust your intuition so that you plug back in and reconnect to your authentic self. Check out my soul readings. We'll look deeply at your soul lessons and find your purpose. We'll answer your big burning questions like, what is holding me back in life? Or what's the right job for me? We'll look at what's going on for you right now and give you grounded steps to bring your life into alignment with your true self. There is nothing more that I love than helping people live spontaneously and awaken their inner guide. I can't wait to help you come home. Visit my website, soniatully.com, to learn about the ways I can work with you so that you'll dance through life with clarity and confidence.
the point is, there is no value looking backward. The most important thing is to say things are changing, and every single person who says I'm intuitive and it works for me and I don't have to explain it is changing the story. Yeah, and that's really, I'm kind of on a mission to get people to start taking that stand, that sense of, I know I don't have to explain it. I'm experiencing this and you can't tell me I'm not. I don't need you to be my gatekeeper to say whether I have the right to.
Right. Like I know. And as I'm saying that, like I'm pointing to my heart, I'm pointing to my gut. Might not know had
well, you might
have to catch up. Right.
Well,
like,
you might not have you might not have intellectual evidence yet. And frankly, you may never have it.
But just my favorite
You don't need it. That's the point.
No. And even so last week, again, we have more and more time to Jazz Fest story because it was 2 weekends here in New Orleans and a lot. But last Friday, I had spent the whole week inside working really hard and I wanted to go and have a little walkabout and see my friends. So I texted all of them, none of them answered. I was disappointed. And so around like 9:30, 10, I decide, I'm going to go to the grocery store. And one of my favorite things to do to feed my spirit is to make food. So I'm going to make some dishes and I'm going to prep some food for snacks later. I'm walking around the grocery store. I'm listening to my music and I'm feeling kind of, dang. Oh, and I just thought, angels, just give me a boost right now. Headphones in, grocery store empty, 20 minutes before close. When all of a sudden I see the assistant manager in the produce section right across from me. He's talking to me and I'm assuming that he's saying, wrap it up. Like, you got 20 minutes, honey, get out of here. Pull out my earbud. I look at him and he has an orange in hand. And he said, do you like oranges? My nickname as a kid growing up was Orangina. I love oranges. He says, well, these are some of the most delicious oranges that I have ever tasted in my life. And people pass them up because when you pick them up, they're soft. So people assume they've gone bad. And I'm like, my interest is piqued. I put one or two in the bag. And then he looks at me and he goes, go ahead, open one. So rip open the orange peel and I can just smell the citrus. And it is so soft, just peels right away. I take a big bite, juice like runs down my chin, and it is quite possibly the best orange I've ever had. He said, see? So I turn to him and he's eyeing my orange and I say, would you like a bite? And he says, don't mind if I do. And we just shared this orange at Rouse's at almost 11 p.m. And, thanked him. I believe his name was Albert or something like that. I'll have to remember, and went on our way. But the moment of the orange, which for me, my favorite fruit, this moment of sweet sharing and just a boost out of nowhere. I'm like, angels, guides, thank you. Turned my whole mood around in a second.
Well, it just goes to show right now that more and more of us are starting to find each other through vibrational match.
Amen.
And if you can have your heart open, these kinds of magical encounters can really, really become part of our new normal and are trying to become part of our new normal.
Definitely. One of my favorite ways to activate my intuition and get into flow is by being connected to my heart and being a good vibes fairy. Have you ever experienced? I know you've experienced that.
Well, that's why you tell people, be a good fairy, be someone. The other day I actually had this. I walked across Paris because I'm in Paris, and I ended up at Bon Marché, which is my favorite, most elegant, beautiful department store.
Oh, I love it.
I was looking for my favorite little fountain pens, those seven-year-old fountain pens. And I went up and
the Pilot V pen.
Yes, that's it. Well, they had none. Oh. And I asked for them, and the woman that told me there weren't any took an enormous amount of pleasure in saying there was no pens.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh. No, we don't carry them. And I said, but I've been buying them here for no. She just was really, and I knew that she was having a bad day or a bad life or something. And she was just
a bad life.
casting that, she was just dispersing that upon me. And so I was really very vulnerable to being bad vibed and get mad.
Yeah.
I just said thank you, and I walked away, and I was really full of those vibes. So I walked.
The PU vibes?
The PU vibes. It was a poopy diaper, diarrhea diaper vibes. And I was really, so I went outside, and then I thought, I'm just going to go home, and I took a taxi. And then I said to the taxi driver, I said, I don't have any cash. I only have my credit card. Bad vibes again. And I said, It's like, I can't, we don't have any, the gas is high. And I said, I live in the same world as you and nobody has money. We're all living this way. I said,
this is when you know Fifi is out and ready for a read.
But I'm not getting mad. I'm holding it. I'm holding it. But it was like, please. I just said, sir, I live in the same world as you. And
I just love that as a line. It's so true.
I said, Mom. So you're not informing me of something that I'm unaware of. And if you want to take me, I have a credit card. Okay. So he comes all the way across Paris. And then his credit card machine doesn't work. And he is furious. And I said, just park here. I will go to the cash station 3 minutes from here and get you your money. It's 12 euro. And I went into the cash station and I got 50 euro. And I walked back to him and I said, I'm going to give this to you if you promise me something. He's like, what? His eyes. And I said, be nice to people. It makes a difference. And I gave him the 50. And it was just spontaneous. And I thought, okay, I can get pissed and lecture him, or I can change the vibe. And it was not pre-planned. It was dropped in. And I just said, just please be nice to people. It makes a difference. And he just was shocked. But that was Fifi too.
Yeah.
That was also
I know. That was
Fifi.
both. That was spirit. That was bright
Spirit
light,
and
spirit
Fifi
and
working
Fifi
together. And I thought, I won't miss the 50, but that might get his attention that he's driving all over this city and could leave a trail of poopy diapers or change the vibe. Change the vibe. And I don't know what 100%. He did. I let it go. I cut the cord. But I felt really proud of myself that a double slime and I rose.
Totally.
It was a double slime.
Totally. It's hard.
I rose because it was hard.
It's really hard. For myself, when I get slimed and then all of a sudden it feels like a cascade. And sometimes it's totally not me at all. Sometimes just the vibe is off. Sometimes then I get slime, then I start sliming. And then we're
that's just what I was aware of.
Slime. Then we're sliding all over the place. But to just take the moment of pause for myself, because I know my ego, Pete, when he can get on a bone, he'll burn the house. He'll want to burn the house down. I mean, his desire to be right or righteous or committed or whatever can be like a vice grip. And the funny thing is, the more that almost my intellect wants to fight against it, like, don't do that, drop it, relax.
Then it gets even more.
Oh, it gets even worse. It gets even worse.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was being no saint. I had to come teach my certification class.
That's even worse.
I knew I could not come into my class stink vibing.
No.
My class and expect my students who I've just trained for the last 3.5 months not to pick up on it. I had to change the vibe myself.
Totally. Well, also it's been so delightful of just such a beautiful class. But I also just know from being behind the curtain with you for years, how much you love it, but how much intention, energy, and how important it is for you to be in clear energy before we begin. Before we even start.
I swear to God, I was thinking the class was about telling people to be aware of your vibe, and universe was just testing me and having fun with me and preparing me.
I mean, it's funny because I bet it was one of the most recent classes about being, one of the things they've been learning is like checking your own vibe before you're in any place, because that was the class. And that was what happened on the way to class. And I thought, okay, I got it. I am walking my talk, but not easy. And actually it helped me teach better because I was able to say it's not easy. Yeah.
Instead of, everybody kumbaya and you should be walking on marshmallow clouds, because that's not real.
Oh, I wish it was. I would love it.
I would.
I mean, good Lord.
But I do think that right now we're at this choice point of like, are you going to go up or are you going to go sideways? And I think it's like, it's not necessarily down, but even like you said, slip sliding all over the place with ricocheting off of everybody's vibes. We just have to not do that. We just have to be ready for and choose to rise.
Yeah, be intentional and not a spiritual bypass. Like Sabrina and I were talking a bit about that. But to not, one thing that you've taught us, and we're really talking about in our spirit and using our mind, just using mind, body, spirit, your intuition, all of it is not letting the outside world dictate you. I can feel a certain way. I can have a reaction. But is that going to dictate everything? Are we going to be like a pinball in a pinball machine? And it's not an easy practice. Like I don't have it always figured out.
Double bozo. First I went to my favorite department store to get slime, then took the treat of a taxi, only to get yelled at across the town. It was like, okay, I guess I really am being tested here. And I gave him, it's sort of like I gave him the €50 because it was like, thank you for teaching me something. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to give you acknowledgement for this.
Yeah. Well,
it was a conscious choice on my part.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I shared a story last week about a gentleman where I was really dealing with a lot of disappointment and kind of sat down and we gotten into a tiff. He's like, this seat's taken. And I was like, and I said to him something along the lines of, please just let me sit here for a moment. And then he's bad vibing me. Then I took a breath myself as I was sharing with Sabrina, and took a breath and I said, hi, I'm sorry if I had any attitude. I'm going through a lot of really big feelings right now that has nothing to do with you. So I apologize. And I really did. Because it's like, I could have very easily used that as a place to discharge all of my big feelings. And instead it was the positive, I don't want to continue down this. And he was sitting across from two of his friends. And these were like dads. Stinkeroni stayed a stinkeroni. Still kept. But the two gentlemen across not only immediately softened, but were so kind when you come from, and not a too open of like, but just an honest when you can hold the vibe of saying, hey, look, that was me, or this is where I'm at. It elicits, we have mirror neurons, AKA vibes, that we connect with one another.
I'm sure caught him by surprise. Some people don't know how to even receive a course correction.
I mean,
obviously the first guy couldn't receive it, but at least his friends could receive it.
Oh yeah. And one thing that I've seen through practicing, and if you really for our listeners, practice just paying attention. Like, are people in their ego? You can see it, tight jaw, feel it. Yeah, like you feel it.
Sucks out the oxygen out of your lungs.
Yeah, it's just like so squeezed. It's if we can just witness, as opposed to people who are in their spirit that connects, however it is, even if it's the genuine, I'm really sorry, or the moment of the pop out. It can be a fun way to interact just with the world, because you take things so much less personally. Like the stinkeroni behind me, I was like, gosh, it must be just tough. That must be tough with that barking dog that's constantly having to chase people away. And when you're right, you're wagging your tail, but are you really that happy?
Right. Just back to my favorite
none of my
thing.
Business.
Well, that was just my summary. In fact, our tool of the week is mind your own business. That is our tool of the week, which doesn't mean don't mind others. It means mind yours. And if yours is if you get bad vibed, rise. And if you're the bad vibes dispenser, turn it off.
Yeah.
And really pay attention. It takes a little bit of effort.
A super simple way to do that sometimes is just acknowledge it. Hey, I said, I'm in a bad mood. I'm in a bad vibe right now. Sometimes just giving that voice instead of trying to fight it gives us a
or
lot more.
deny it.
Oh,
That's
gosh,
a
the
good.
worst.
So that is the good. If just check
No,
your.
I'm not
just
in a
check-
bad mood.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
everything's fine.
Yeah.
I could be a stinkeroni of that. I know I can.
Everybody
I know
can.
we
So let's just let that be our
But
tool
the
of the
room
week.
full of psychics.
Really. So what? Before we go to our question of the week, you got anything coming up?
Not much. I have a few spaces for intuitive soul readings. I do half-hour and hour-long readings. I'd love to connect with you. We can get clear on your soul purpose, what's going on right now, answer specific questions, and it's a healing experience. Truly.
Yeah, that it really is. It's just like a psychic tune-up on the compass. It just saves you steps later on. So that's if you don't want to be spinning in circles, then a soul reading would be a really good idea.
How about you, Mom? We're about to wrap the first level. Wild.
I know. I'm so excited. Next week, we're finishing the first ever cohort of the gift certification training. Very proud of that. Very proud of my 200 students. Congratulations.
So wonderful.
And pre-congratulations, although we're not yet done. So I am just going to finish that up and very much looking forward to that. So that is the gift and the blessing I'm completely immersed in right now.
Vacation.
And then a little break from that after that.
I absolutely love that. Well, if you're interested, do you have a waiting list or anything for the next time this opens up for next year?
I do have a waiting list. You can find it both in the notes below. If you want to join the waiting list, we'll leave it in the show notes that you can get on the waiting list. Also, you can get on the waiting list on my website.
I love that. Well, speaking of waiting lists, let's get to our question of the week.
Okay.
If you'd like to write us, you can write us at vibecheck@soniatully.com, or it's all related podcast questions at gmail.com. We love to hear from you. I'm going to need to still work. I'm going to need to ask my angels to shorten that email. And
we have to come up with a better one.
I need some inspiration. This week, we have a question from our beautiful listener, Alicia. Alicia says, I'm very creative and love imagining. When I'm calm and regulated, my imagination gives me terrific ideas and solutions. However, sometimes it can slip into fear-making or repeat the past traumas and go down the well-worn, overdone rabbit hole. Now, I know to stay in the present moment, I practice meditation, but I'm wondering how much freedom can I give to my mind to wander freely when I'm around in the present moment?
Well, I'd say give your imagination a tremendous amount of freedom, but you also might give it some direction. Like, don't just wildly imagine with no objectives. Imagine yourself where you want to live. Imagine yourself creating something incredible. Imagine yourself traveling into some special experience, not just because what happens if you don't have some orientation around your imagination is you slip into the collective imagination, which is where you get all the lions and tigers and bears, oh my. So it's like wandering into a city that you've never been, have some destinations in mind and where you want to go, or you might get sucked into a back alley somewhere. So it's not so much you have to watch your imagination, you have to direct it.
Yes.
And that is how you're going to keep it working for you instead of you getting hijacked by collective imagination, which isn't very positive.
I love that. Sometimes it's like pain. I remember in first getting back in connecting to my own imagination, my own creativity in a whole other way, was I needed bumpers. I needed kind of like a blank page. Too many tools would overwhelm me. But for me, if you know my story, I found a kazoo that's opened a wormhole of kazoo boos and has created this whole beautiful universe. So, just as you're saying of directing our imagination, I'm like, just even imagine about what you would love to desire. Shout out Anna Maria was giving me this tool. And she was like, just imagine anything, like whether you want to go to the moon or if you want to be under a tree, is just a way to start to bring that muscle back online. And if you keep coming up and that trauma or whatever keeps repeating and you're doing the tools and you've got the therapy and you got the meditation, maybe it's time to find a good, skilled therapist who has an understanding of intuition to do some work or some EMDR and some of those deeper things that need healing. That can also just be another way that we can unlock our imagination.
That's very good advice. I think everybody could use whatever resources, as long as they're aligned with helping your spirit and not causing you to doubt yourself. You know,
absolutely.
Dig in, dive in, discover, and if you really do get lost in your imagination, get it out of your head. Sing, dance, garden, paint. Put it out in some external expression like you did with the kazoos.
Yes.
And it'll kind of gather you back up out of the lost dark space and bring you back in line to something beautiful.
Absolutely. And just to that same point, as you're saying, when we create art, we create just for creating's sake. It is a way that we can process all of that, not through talking and thinking. It's a way that our spirit can move out that psychic garbage in a whole other way, and we'll create something beautiful.
Yeah, and give yourself some inner space at the same time.
Ugh, I wish you were here. I would love to toot some kazoos and do some fun stuff with you. I miss you, Mom.
We'll get together soon. Love you too, Son. So everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. And if you like our podcast, please do us a solid help. It helps us so much if you subscribe, leave us a review, share with a friend. Again, write us It's All Related podcast questions at gmail.com. Don't forget to check out my mom's YouTube at Sonia Choquette. She releases a new video every week. Her Instagram, check out my YouTube, my Instagram. We have all sorts of tools, resources, including the tribe to support you. And just thank you for spending this time with us. You're part of our soul family. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Sonia. Love you guys. Bye.